My business was failing. I had negative money in my bank account. No friends. My family barely spoke to me. I was 30 pounds underweight, and I shook constantly. My hair was falling out, and I had small scabs all over my face. I didn't care what I looked like. I didn't care about anything. I used to care about music. I wanted to die. I would cry and beg every god, goddess, spirit, please kill me. Please don't let me wake up tomorrow. Please, heart, stop beating. I don't want to fucking be here. August 22nd, 2019. My client Sam offered to take me out for a belated birthday drink after her 10 a.m. session. I had rehearsals for a musical at 5 p.m. I figured I could have a couple, sober up in time. The thing is, once I have one, I can't stop. So we had a couple. Then we went to another bar and had a few more. And by the third bar, what I remember is fireball shots, drawing on her arms with lipstick, and deciding to go get cigarettes. She handed me her keys. I'm too drunk to drive, can you? Evidently, I said yes. The next thing I remember is the ghostly white powder of airbag dust floating in the air. Everything seemed to move in slow motion. A heavy silence, except for a piercing ringing in my ears. My head on the steering wheel, my foot at an unnatural angle, looking sideways at Sam to see the shocked, confused look on her face. But inside, I felt nothing. Alcohol embraced my system and kept me safe from feeling any emotional connection to what was happening. No fear, no shame, no grief. Substances wear off, though, and eventually those feelings would come. I remember being handcuffed to the table at the police department, staring out the window at the water tower, still thinking I would be in my own bed that night. Thinking about some weed I had stashed in the bathroom. Thinking, in a couple hours I'll be high and this will just be a vague, unpleasant memory. Numbing myself to my feelings was the only way that I knew how to cope. Hours passed, and it was off to county. I was coming down and could not stop throwing up. I was desperate for water, but there wasn't any. It wasn't until they pulled me out of the cell and wrapped a thick metal chain around my waist and my ankles it hit me. I would not be going home that night. They attached 2 other girls to me and led us out to a bus to ship us out to Elmwood. I walked tall, as if it were no big deal. No big deal that my life was crumbling, and I felt nothing. At booking, they gave me a paper bag to put my things in. A guard took me to a concrete cubicle, told me to tell her once I got naked. She came in, checked my mouth, patted me down, checked my vagina, and finally asked me to turn around, open my legs wide, bend over, and spread my butt cheeks with my hands. Upside down, feeling the blood rush to my head, I looked at her between my legs and wanted to make a joke so bad, to cover up how dehumanizing this felt. But I didn't. I stood at the bottom of the staircase. My bunk was on the top floor. Now that feeling was starting to return, my bloody, swollen ankle was throbbing with pain. I felt like I had to climb Mount Everest, that this feat would take a Herculean amount of strength I didn't have. I longed for fresh air. The only window was very small and very high with bars over it. I kept my gaze on it as I dragged myself upwards. I could see a patch of sky, a patch of freedom. I stared at the faded red light above my bed and thought, well, This is it. This is my life now. I'm in motherfucking jail. Goodbye, personal training. Goodbye, nature. Goodbye, theater. And goodbye, piano, my love. I felt my dreams slipping away. Grief and panic pounded on my insides and clawed at my throat. I swallowed them down and concentrated on the sharp pain shooting out my leg. I wasn't surprised to be here. Really, it was just a matter of time. Substances had replaced everything else. I had tried and failed at life. I couldn't do it. I don't belong in this world. I'm too weird. I'm too messed up. I don't know how to do this thing called life. I felt resigned to a life of jail and crime, because once you're in the system, it's almost impossible to get out. Why try to fight for another way? Why listen to the little girl who dreams of being on stage, sitting at a sleek, grand piano, so shiny she can see her reflection? It hurts too much. Get real, I tell her. That isn't how it works. We aren't good enough to ever accomplish or achieve anything. We're garbage, a mistake. There's no place here for our dreams or our heartbreak. All night, I hobbled up and down the stairs to vomit. A girl called out to me, "Hey, you got any drugs?" What the fuck? I literally just had my asshole searched, so no. The next day, during free time, I wandered over to the bookcase and was immediately drawn to the 12 steps and traditions of Alcoholics Anonymous. For a moment, I saw my path divided. Either I was going to have to change everything, or I was going to put myself in my grave. I held the book in my hands, closed my eyes, and I could feel the smooth, cool keys of the piano under my fingertips. I heard a voice from deep inside myself say, "You are here to play music." I walked the book back up to my bunk, promising myself I would read it later that night. In that moment, I felt everything in me shift towards living, towards getting help. I didn't want to go out like this. The song inside me wasn't ready to fade into the dark. I've been giving recovery my all, and I have over 2 years sober. And because of this, I have a chance. Every day I wake up and decide to stay clean, to play my life's song.